Hey guys, welcome back to our... not back, welcome back. We haven't been anywhere.
This is actually our second one.
Okay, here we go.
Come on.
Hey guys, welcome to our very first podcast. My name is Stacy. This is Kirby. We've just got together and put together this podcast to talk about a bunch of different things like what's happening in the world, about sport, fashion, culture, sports culture, pop culture, all that sort of stuff, right? What else are we going to be talking about?
Relationships, work vibes.
Yeah. Tips and tricks. What are we up to? Content creating. What's happening in the tattoo world?
Content creating, yep.
So I'll give a bit of introduction. My name is Stacy. I said before, I create a bit of content. So I'm helping Kirby creating a bunch of his content. I also create content for guys like All Blacks like Rico Ioane, Aaron Smith, Ari Savir, a bunch of people like that. And Kirbs, what do you get up to, bro?
So I'm a tattoo artist in West Auckland, Tattoo South. You pretty much just tattoo and
creative as well. So you got what we are actually filming out of Kirby's studio called the Owing Collective Studio. Here we are for our very first one. So it's a mean spot, it's a mean vibe all up in here, which you created yourself, bro. So we'll just get into it. So what we're going to talk about, I've got a bunch of different topics we're going to talk about. So off the bat, we're going to talk about things that happened this week. The week that was for you, what work's been happening, and then also what's been going on, just up to in general. So a bit of an introduction, I guess we could say, about what's been happening with us, really, right? So, bro, what's been happening this week anyway? What's been going on?
The weekend there was, for me, I went to Cornwall, I don't know if it's Cornwallis Cafe.
Cornwall Park in Auckland?
The cafe, Watcher Hill. Yeah, went there, took our little dog for some breakfast.
What kind of dog have you got?
So he's a Labradoodle. He's a Labradoodle retro doodle.
What's his name again?
Hercules.
Hercules.
Yeah, shout outs.
Hercules.
Shout outs to my little pup. Hercules.
He's got his Instagram page and everything.
Hercules. Hercules the demi-dog. We took him there for like we went and had breakfast and then took him for like just a massive ass walk around there, like sheep farm. And then saw Stephen Perifetto.
Hey.
He had a mean dog as well, bro.
Did he?
Yeah, he's got a massive ass dog. So yeah, shout out Stephen.
Because they go away on tour this week, eh?
Yeah.
They're getting together to go, because he made the All Blacks team, eh?
Yeah.
Not the All Black 15.
The proper All
Blacks,
yeah.
So they go on tour this week, which we'll talk about a little bit more about later.
Yeah. And that's...
What's been happening with Mahi, bro? Have you had, what sort of clients have you had in this week? What sort of work have you been doing this week?
This week I had, what did I do? Wait, what's today? Tuesday.
Yeah, well, you had one on Friday.
Oh, yeah. And I had the bro on Friday. We did a line for the bro. Stasis is healing right now. So
yeah, it's part of my sleeve. So it's a little bit crusty at the moment. It's peeling, but it's
that's actually healing mean, bro. Like that's like some nice peel.
Yeah. So what it is, it's a Leo lion. So my star sign is Leo. So it's part of my sleeve that's going to be all over. So this is the first piece of it. I took about 6-7 hours.
Yeah, tattooing hours here.
Yeah. So it's come out. I'm stoked with it. All the detail in here that Kirby put in. Fuck, it's just crazy. So, if you're looking for any work done, definitely check out Curbs. We'll put it in the show notes. His contact details. Best way to get a hold of you is what, by email?
Yeah, email's best. Instagram's like best to see photos.
Yeah. What's your Instagram page, bro?
Kirby Tavita Tattoos.
Yeah, me.
Just at Kirby Tavita Tattoos.
Yeah. So we had heaps. So that was awesome. That was a mean sitting. So, yeah, what else have you been going on, bro?
And then, just... Oh, much. Oh, we had White Sunday on Sunday.
Yep.
That was cool. Got to see my nieces and nephew perform.
Yeah.
That was real cool. If you're Samoan, and you know what White Sunday is, you know what those speeches are like.
See, I'm not too sure about what White Sunday is. I'm Māori, so I don't really understand too much about, or haven't heard too much about White Sunday. So give me a bit of detail about what's White Sunday.
So it's like so White Sunday is like the Sunday for children.
Yeah.
So like, you have like Mother's Day, Father's Day, and then you have like a Children's Day.
Yeah.
And that's where it's that's what White Sunday is, but that's where like all of them practice to perform. For like White Sunday and stuff, and they have like because it's a church thing, they have like Bible story plays and stuff, certain skits, and you always have to say like a speech, like we call it like go locals, like everyone has like a go local to do, and it's like, bro, it's funny, it's like funny when you're like Samoan, because then you understand when like parents say like do your speech, like, bro, if you don't know your speech, bro, you'll get the evil eyes or something, bro. Like
from your parents, or from everyone? From
your parents, bro. Like, who cares about everyone, bro? You just look straight at your mum and dad, like, bro. And then you know, if you get it wrong, bro, you know you're getting a hiding after, bro.
Wait till you get home. Hey, not even get home. Wait till you get in the car,
bro. So that's Yeah, that was cool to get to see my niece.
I can imagine you have the mad feeds afterwards as well.
Oh, nah, because we had training later on.
Because you're into CrossFit too, eh?
Yeah, prepping for that, prepping for nationals. Yeah. So I haven't really been on the Sunday feasts at the moment. Kind of just been like, till Labor weekend, after Labor weekend.
Labor weekend. Bro, just quickly, talk us through how you got into tattooing, bro. You and I have done a podcast before, which again we'll put in the show notes about, how I interviewed you. But just for the people watching for the first time, somebody might be wanting getting into tattoo. How did you kind of get into it? Was it something you've thought about getting into as well, or you've always wanted to get into it, or?
No, I kind of just fell into it. I had like a tag coach back in the day, and he just saw one of my drawings and just asked me if I wanted to, like, if I would ever tattoo. And I was just like, and then he was like, bro, if you want, I got a machine that you can like actually tattoo. And I was like, oh yeah, that's mean, like, cool. And then he messaged like the next day, bro, and he was like, do you want to come pick up that machine? And I was like, oh yeah, mean, bro. And then, bro, I just went and picked up the machine, jammed on myself, did this one. Like, that was my very first, like, tattoo.
Oh, was it? Was it? On yourself?
Yeah, bro. So I just, like, got the machine, tattooed myself, and then that's pretty much how it started, bro. And then, because I've always been an artist, everyone always knew me as, like, the title page kid. Like, and then, once everyone found out, it was like, oh, he's tattooing now. So it was easier to get more of my mates in that to be guinea pigs.
All the boys that love a free tattoo too, eh? Still asking for free ones.
The free ones were the worst ones. So.
Mean, bro. Yeah, that's awesome. Sounds like we had a bit of a hectic week then, bro. So, which is all good.
Yeah. No. What about you, bro? How's week
busy week's been a bit going on. I've been creating a bit of content for Rico.
Oh, yeah.
Created a bit of a reel for him, so to put on Instagram, and it was more of a wrap up of the championship tour.
Yeah.
And so because they took a lot of heat, because they were like people were like dogging them hard. I wanted to create a video for him to say that how they won it. Like people, the way what I created for what I wanted to do it start off with it doing was having Rico in there. Oh no, having Conor McGregor, when he's on this, he's in the ring, and he's like, I want to apologize to, he does that one. I wanted to add in there.
Fucking nobody. Yeah,
that's the one I wanted to put in there because I was like, fucking like everyone's been slaying the boys for how long, and then they end up winning the championship.
Yeah,
like now what? Like this, they've got like you should never have doubted us. Like which. I know it's hard not to do is doubt the boys when they All Blacks are known to win constantly, right? But I've talking to a couple of them, like the pressure was only from the outside. They weren't really listening to any of the pressure. They weren't listening to any of the media or what people were saying. They were going just focusing on their processes, and they knew the whole time, like we're not that far off of winning, or doing, connecting or the whole, our game plan clicking.
Yeah.
And then the last few games, like to win in South Africa, bro, that was deadly, eh? You know what I mean?
That's the one that they needed to win.
Bro. And that was a gangster win too, right? Like to win against South Africa in South Africa, especially at that field.
Yeah.
Bro, that's not an easy thing to do, man. So to pull that off.
After getting pumped as well,
Bro. Yeah, and then to redeem themselves after, like what they went through, and to sort of, just to sort of step up and just sort of go through the processes and understand the game plan and believing in themselves, and, like just because when things like that can happen, you can easily turn on each other. Hey, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
You've played team sports, obviously, so it's easy to sort of start going, fuck, you need to pull, like I don't think there was any of that. And apparently it started from the coach down, he wasn't stressed. He wasn't stressed at all. He was going through just, okay, boys, this is what we've got to do. Let's just get through it. Let's just get on with it. How do we get better than we were yesterday? What were our learnings? So I think that's mean, bro.
Yeah, no, that was. I think the best thing was when they won. It was like a totally different team.
Yeah,
even though it was the same team.
Yeah,
and so you were kind of like, hey, so then how did you guys lose?
Yeah, and that's it, man. But so I guess again, the credit to as well the rest of the world. They are what people are saying, catching up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like we used to just easily think about of a team, and you're like, oh, well, yeah, we'll walk over those dudes. Like Argentina, right?
Yeah.
But now, like you can't take anybody for granted, right?
Exactly.
And I think that's rolling into one of our next topics is the All Blacks 15 they've just picked. Mm-hmm. What do you think about that? Picking an All Blacks 15 side? Bro?
Yeah, no, that was mean. Like it's cool to finally see the boys that are like in line to
on the fringe. On the fringe kind of one.
Like, because back in the day, I remember there was like always like the New Zealand A.
Yeah,
and like now, like you don't really know who that is anymore, especially because there's like New Zealand Māoris or Māori All Blacks, and you think, oh, does that mean they're the next All Blacks? But it's like they're a totally different team now. But yeah, with that All Blacks 15, it was interesting. I think that the interesting thing for me was seeing players that, like for example, that Peter Gus, like seeing him not in there, that like raised a few eyebrows. Bro. I was like, hey, how does he make the All Blacks team this year, and then he doesn't even make the All Blacks 15 team?
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate for dudes like that, but at the same time, there's opportunities for new guys as well. Like that Ruben Love, bro, for Wellington.
Oh, bro, he's been carving, bro.
He's carving at the moment, bro. Yeah. So it's good to give him that exposure before he gets into the All Black environment. Yeah. Because I think what it used to be under 21s, and there was nothing really in between that and All Blacks, apart from obviously Māori All Blacks. Yeah. But then, so it's cool having this. I think it's actually quite good, for guys like obviously TJ Perenara, those kind of guys that are sort of, like I say, on the cusp, but still gives them international game time as well, sort of keeps them fresh and eager.
Yeah. Do you think they're too old?
I don't know, bro. I think they've got tons of experience, which is great, So having an experience, which I think they love it as well, to bring through the younger development players. So that what they're doing is actually probably passing on their knowledge, bro. So as opposed to, like just falling off in the background, they're still there giving a hand back to the game, And I think they probably enjoy that just as much as actually being there. So, that's probably what it is, bro. But it's also good. I mean, so if they're going to be touring at the same time as All Blacks, right? Yeah. So can they be pulled into the All Blacks if there's an injury? Because they're already over there,
maybe, Yeah, well, that's like, I don't know, Well, if it's the All Blacks 15, surely that means they're the next in line, for whoever like gets injured and stuff.
Yeah, you'd think so, eh?
Who do they play?
So they've got 2 games, bro. So they've got Barbarians, and they've got Ireland 15 as well.
Oh, yeah.
So again, it's just good for the game, development of the game,
Especially to play some international players as well, like you were just saying, with those young dudes that go from like 20s to pretty much only you're playing like Super Rugby and that. Yeah. And you kind of want to play international like level, like.
Yeah, and getting them involved in the environment as well. Like, it's hard to go into an All Black environment and then all of a sudden, to gel with the other players. Because it can be intimidating. Like, fuck, I've been watching these dudes my whole life. Yeah. Now I'm standing here next to them. But if they've developed through like an All Blacks 15, they're already in that mindset of being in camp, being around that environment, thinking, like that kind of thought process, and trying to gel and create connections as well.
Like how they used to have. How they used to have like All Black apprentices. Yeah. Like, they weren't like named in the team or like said, but you'd always see them like training
in the squad.
With them, and they get all the, I don't know if they get all the gears, but they're always like with the teams. That's cool to, And like to me, international level's like such a different level because you think about country, like, man, I'm playing for my country now.
Yeah, hard.
You know, so the pressure's a bit, you know, higher. So.
Yeah, compared to versus something like Super Rugby, right? You know what I mean? Or, yeah.
It still feels like club when you say Super Rugby.
Yeah. Pretty much is, right? I mean, yeah. So, I reckon it'd be cool, man. So, yeah, that'd be good to see them. You get together and see how they go away, you know? So, see what happens there.
Especially because there's already, like, there's All Blacks in that team.
Yeah, so there's heaps of experience in the team as well as newbies, isn't there? And as well as freshness as well. Like I say, dudes like Ruben, it'll be awesome to see him on that sort of stage level as well.
Bro, he's carving, bro. He's better at fullback, he's been playing better at fullback than he was at 10.
Yeah, hard. I think he just loves the freedom of movement back there, you know? Like you can see the game probably a bit wider and a bit better. Hit those holes, he's free to roam where he wants to, so...
And he's a running player as well.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's what's mean about him.
Yeah, so I reckon that dude's got a big future, so it'd be cool to keep an eye on him.
Who else made that All Blacks 15 team?
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. Well, how many of these like previous All Blacks? There's like these 8 previous All Blacks or something, eh?
True.
Yeah. So, but yeah, should be good, bro. But the other thing I've been watching as well, bro, is that the Redeem team, bro,
yes, bro.
on Netflix. Have you seen that?
I've been waiting for you to get to this, bro.
Bro,
I want to talk about.
I love that shit because it's like The Last Dance, right?
Yeah.
It's on on the back of that. Fuck, I love that kind of stuff,
Bro. I think the best thing was, like, for me watching that, especially being a LeBron fan, is watching LeBron bring back another team, you know, like, well, you know, with the helps of like Kobe Bryant, Melo, and D Wade and Bosch and all that. But it was so mean to see that, like, you know, when Jordan was playing, he was like the dream team, you know, and then like by the time LeBron and they get there, it's like they were like pretty much sucking, you know, like USA basketball was pretty much sucking, and then they're the ones to like be like, can you guys bring us back, you know?
I reckon I look at it like the USA basketball team is like the All Blacks, meaning they're not expected to lose. Like everybody sees the USA basketball team as the greatest team ever. And so for them to lose, especially at the Olympics or World Qualifiers, was pretty much unheard of, eh?
Yeah.
You're like, you lost to Argentina or Spain or something, you know? Like, it's exactly like the All Blacks, eh?
Yeah, even NBA... Like when they say NBA, when you win the title, they say world champions.
Yeah,
and it's like, well, that's just national. Like you guys are. Well, that's national basketball.
They do it with baseball as well. Major League Baseball. They're saying they're the World Series. The world champions.
See, and it's like, but it's true though. Like they are the best.
Yeah, you
in the world.
Well, you think so, right? So they had a team of superstars, but they just weren't gelling as a team.
Yeah.
And so what the coach did, you see what the coach did, you know, he got the military, because he's a military background, eh? And so Coach K, so he got the military dudes in there and made them understand what actually means to be American.
Yeah.
And that's what they do a lot with the All Blacks, right? They get a lot of, you know, they dive into the multicultural.
Yeah.
You know, they got like guys like Willie Appiata. He came in and spoke to them about what it meant to him to be into war and represent your country. So you can see the similarities between the All Blacks and the Dream, you know, the new American basketball
team,
and the Redeem team. So yeah, it was mean to bring Kobe back too, right?
I think the best thing about that was like showing that in a team you can have the best players and still like not win, and that showed like in that documentary how many like of the best players they had in one team and they still couldn't even, you know, beat Spain.
Yeah, and it's just because of egos, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's thinking they're the man, you know, like they're not doing what there's a book out at the moment, well not at the moment, there's a book out called Legacy, and it talks about the All Blacks culture. So by a guy by the name, I think James Kerr, and he talks about how All Blacks, they, like for example, sweeping the sheds after the game, you know, like carrying their bags to the bus, you know what I mean? Like, so they don't think they're bigger than the game, whereas I think a lot of some other international teams and players go, that's not me, I'm not stupid, I'm an all-star, you know what I mean? And so they think they're bigger than the game, or they don't gel with their, you know, with their players. And so there's no connection there.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they brought up in the actual in the doco way? Is it how they they stayed in camp for how long?
Yeah. And even staying like in the Olympic camp instead of like staying on that ship.
On that ship, the first time.
How they were like, I felt like we were like away from everyone and
Yeah.
couldn't really do like anything with other countries and stuff. Like on the back of like what you were just saying with the egos thing, I think the coolest thing in that was seeing Coach K say like, I want you guys to bring your egos in this.
Yeah.
But let's make it one ego.
Yeah.
Rather than don't bring your egos, like, because you always hear that, like leave your ego at the door in like team environments. But it's mean how he highlighted that's why they're like so good.
Yeah.
Because these are all individual like all-stars that have that type of ego, but
yeah, but and they kind of just needed a gel and to have the same reason. Like they're saying that you're not playing for the Cavs, you're not playing for Thunder, you're not playing for Lakers. You're playing under the one banner now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know what I mean. But
what were you gonna say?
Oh, when Kobe comes on,
bro, I was just about to say, what about Mamba mentality, bro?
He's another level, bro.
Yeah, bro. I think, like, to be honest, I think that's insanity. Like that's a level of like having like a screw loose almost.
I think he's like obsessed, bro.
Yeah,
because I reckon he's. I don't know how do you compare him and Richie McCaw, but Richie McCaw was obsessed with the processes. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like he would just constantly write down things,
watching his highlights and stuff.
Yeah, watching everything, how he could be better. You know, like obviously he wanted to be the GAB greatest All Black ever. You know, like Mm-hmm. And I think he's obsessed like by the process, like Kobe is. Kobe's obsessed by everything, right? Mm-hmm. Did you hear about that story where they were in Vegas and they went out to town?
And they're coming back.
Come out at 5 a.m, and there's Kobe with a gym bag, and they're like, "Oh, hey, we're seeing him in the lobby." He's like, "They're like, bro, what are you doing?"
Did you see what Melo said? He was like, "Man, I love the training, but man, 4:30, man, that's too early for me, man.
4:30." But yeah, so Kobe would, but then practice, more and more dudes would start tuning up with Kobe in the gym.
Mm-hmm. And like I was like just about to say, that's their Mamba mentality, because it snowballed, like, all of them saw that, and then like he didn't even say anything.
Nah.
He didn't even need to like walk down the lobby and was like, bro, you guys shouldn't be going out. You guys should be training. He was just like,
this is me. This is what I do.
This is what I do, And then for them to be like, fuck, I should go like train in the morning as well.
Yeah, because I guess they feel like they didn't want to let Kobe down.
Yeah.
They see the effort he's putting in. They're like, fuck, here I am at till 5 a.m, racking it up, where he's here to win he's here to win a gold medal.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Am I on that level? And so I think, you're right. And I think the same with, referring back to Richie about the effort that he was putting in. Like, I think that in the last World Cup here in Auckland, wasn't he playing like on a broken foot, but no one knew? And I think just the team would know, like.
And that just adds to their stories. It just makes their stories even better. But
it was like even when Buck Shelford back in the 80s, when he was playing France. Did you hear about that one?
The one with his...
He got rucked in one of his balls got fucking ripped open. Right. Went on the sideline, got it stitched up, plays on. Right. You know what I mean?
So stapled it.
Yeah.
Those are those old school stories. I'll just staple it.
I remember seeing that on a game one time. Who was it? Someone was getting stapled on the sideline, and the camera showed it. Everyone's like, oh,
bro.
Yeah, bro.
Even Kobe had a story like that where he just pops his broken finger back in. You see that?
Yeah.
Like, see, those.
Yeah.
That's why they're there.
But even to his mindset, where he's gone, I think they were playing. Was it Spain or Argentina? And he's like, "Leave it with me. I know what the first play is going to be."
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that part?
The soul story, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, bro.
And he just said, "What did he say to his teammates?"
He was like, I know what they're running first, and I'm gonna he says like, I'm gonna run through that motherfucker. and then they're all just like, hey bro, that's your brother, man. Like,
that's your teammate.
You ain't gonna do that, man. What you on about, man? And then like for him to actually do it,
just checks him.
Yeah, bro. And that's not just a check. That's like a full on. You knew exactly what you were doing.
But did you see the part as well that Kobe went and caught up with him the night before the game?
Yeah.
At his hotel room.
And then even like Gasol says, I think that was one of his like strategies to try and like think, he's just one of the boys, and then boom, bro, to the chest.
That's that Mamba mentality, man. He.
It was, the coolest thing about that was seeing Gasol take it the right way.
Yeah.
Hey,
he's like, okay, I understand.
He didn't even try and stand up and fight him. He was like, like, this is your team. We're not teammates right now,
I think I loved about Gasol as well, while they're interviewing, he's wearing a Kobe t-shirt. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
I was like,
That's actually mean. But see, if you were to try and do that, man, imagine trying to do that in rugby. Oh, man. The amount of collars that would come out, even like, I was that kind of player, like if my mate like tried to like tackle me or something or like try and hit me, I was like, this guy, and then it's like turns into a little scuffle, and after it's like, you realize, but to realize in the heat of the moments, like that's
as soon as you walk over that paint, bro, that white line, bro, we're not friends. Hey, we're all out. We're here to play,
and that's what was mean about like Kobe, bro. He just, the thing that I loved about him was when Melo was talking about him, and he was saying how he's like an individual and he's like happy being that. He doesn't care that people like criticize him or stuff.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
And that, bro, to me, that is so like greatness, because it just shows like he didn't really care about what people were saying about him.
Yeah, and they even saying like he was hard to approach. He wasn't that, he wasn't that not friendly, but it was. They say there was something that was kind of hard to sort of connect with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was super
and that's why they were worried about picking him.
Yeah,
like because they were like,
is he right for the team?
Yeah, is he a team player?
Yeah.
Can he be in this team?
Yeah, that's it, bro. So, but no, super interesting doco. So if anybody hasn't watched it, definitely check it out on Netflix.
Definitely check it out.
The Redeem Team is cool, eh?
I've already seen it like a few times. Just because I watch it thinking, did I miss something?
It's like The Last Dance, eh? Every time we watch those ones.
Yeah, watch it over and over again.
But American content, they love like that's the kind of content we love to see.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be amazing to see something like that for All Blacks or something in New Zealand sport,
Yeah.
Like that, how do we get content like that, I think that's what we're missing, like they're we need to put personalities in our players, like really understand who they are. I remember seeing a day in the life of Aaron Smith one time.
Yeah.
That was mean, bro. Like the cameras just followed him around, like waking up, breakfast, feeding baby, off to training all day, and then doing what he went through. I kind of love that kind of, because I want to see what people get up to, bro, outside of the game. That's why I think autobiographies do really well.
Yeah.
Because we always want to know, we can see what happens on the field. What do they get up to? What
makes them great?
Bro, how do we humanize them? What are they into? What's their sneaker collection like? What do they eat? How do they train? Or what do they do in their pastime? To pass time.
I think it also, like the thing with America that's so mean is that they make heaps of money as a player, and whoever makes the big bucks kind of has that freedom. So like here, it's different with like All Blacks. Well, I don't know. Like I don't know anything like about in like the All Blacks systems or whatever, but like everyone's kind of on the same pay, and so you can't really be outspoken like that, because then you can pretty much just be cut off, like. And I feel like coaches have too much power, like not too much power to where they can just cut you off, but like if a coach says, maybe just don't do that, like our players don't have that personality to be like, don't tell me what to do, like I can still do that, and I can still like carve up,
Yeah, I guess it's we can always come back to it as the tall poppy syndrome thing as well. I know what a lot of boys would like to be, and there's heaps of personalities in the game of rugby and league, and here in New Zealand, but they're worried that if they put out, actually, hang on, bro, I think our cameras are timed out. I'm just going to quickly change up our cameras. Hold up. Yeah, so just coming back to what we're saying, we'll just have to change the cameras up real quick. So, yeah, just back to what we were saying. I think, again, it comes down to that tall poppy syndrome, bro. A lot of the boys want to create content, but they're worried that if they do make content, like, for example, put out a podcast or do a vlog or whatever, but then they get beaten the next week, people are going to automatically go, look at these heroes. They're trying to fucking spend less. You should be spending less time doing a podcast or a vlog and spending more time on the training pitch, where it doesn't, whereas in America, they embrace athletes over there, creating content, doing cool stuff, like how many of those NFL players or whatever have got their own podcasts and stuff as well? Have you seen all those?
Yeah.
I think that's mean, bro, hearing their thoughts about things.
But even, I reckon even them, they still get criticised as well, but the thing with them is, they back themselves to their point where it's I can still do this podcast and I'll still carve up. Yeah. Whereas for here, I think, especially as Islanders, you kind of say you start getting criticised, you kind of fall into that I'll just go back to
just fall back into your shell,
shutting up. I won't do any more.
Keep
podcasts.
Low key kind of one.
But I reckon if we have players that like Artie, The main thing about him, he's still been carving, bro. He never even when they lose, bro, he still carves, and that's what we need to shut criticism up, to be like.
But did you see in the weekend, bro? I love what Artie does, bro. He gives back to everyone. He goes into his local training field.
The kids and stuff.
Bro, and then the night before, he chucks up on Instagram, anyone to come train with me, I'm going to be here at this time, I'm not going to be, I'm not going to wait up for anybody, I'm just going to do my thing, you come hang out, do my circuit with me, and, people can... Bro, imagine that. You get to train with your favourite All Black or one of the greatest rugby players in the world.
Yeah, bro.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah, of course, bro.
For free.
For free, bro. Everyone in America's charging for that.
But, at the same time, though, whether it's for free or not, I would still pay to go and to train with them. It would be, bro.
Well, that's kind of like that. Would you rather make $1 million or rather have a dinner with... blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Hey, those are those kind of moments, but actually happening.
That. I reckon that's cool. And it's awesome to see, some of the boys doing more and more of that.
Yeah.
And I think it's just good to give back. I think it's their way of giving back, but also he understands about how building community works as well.
Yeah.
Building a following, he's a very smart man, so he understands what it takes to build a community. You don't just expect, because he knows that this is not going to last forever. So if he's building community while he's at his peak, that'll flow on,
Yeah.
It's like with Richie, I've referred back to him, bro, he could walk into any pub and he will never have to buy a beer for the rest of his life, he's just built
Everyone
that following.
Be, bro, shouting him and stuff.
Because he's just given so much to the game. Yeah, so... Yeah, that's cool, man.
But that is true, with the whole content thing... I just want to talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
That's one thing that I just wish that you could just tell, those All Blacks boys, is bro, just do it, bro. Understand what's going to come from it, but understand that the reward for that risk is way higher than, honestly, bro, imagine someone like Rico or Artie still doing all of that stuff and then, still carving up. You'd look at them and be like, bro. Now, then that trickles down to, the kids being like, oh, yeah, I want to do content, if he's carving up, but if they stop doing it and then they start carving up, then it looks like, oh, you only started carving up because you stopped, focusing on other things.
It's interesting, bro, about what people's mentality is. I remember creating a video for him on YouTube, and it was one of his pre-season trainings.
Yeah.
And he happened to be wearing a pearl necklace, and someone criticised him for, you're only wearing that because Stylebender wears it. It's or not, you know what I mean? Or his haircut. I've seen the comments, bro, oh yeah, he's an awesome player, but fuck, what about his haircut? What's this stupid haircut? It's just so old school mentality, imagine, it's just that if the boys can't do anything different, I think because we've been growing up as the All Blacks have just been, you know, like
Straight cut dudes.
You know, like farmers built hard.
Yeah.
Just say nothing. Because I guess that's one of the mentalities as well. Is there's a saying that the sweet potato never tells anybody how sweet it is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They let other people say how sweet it is.
True.
Do you know what I mean? So there's that balance as well.
Yeah.
So, but I think there's a culture shift at the moment that we actually want. I mean, look at the NRL, bro. Mm-hmm. How much cool stuff, you know, like how much that it's awesome. Like the State of Origin, bro.
Yeah.
Like to watch that is amazing, right? Like, that's a spectacle, you know? But you've got the lead up all the way up to it. Like a lot of there's heaps of content around it, you know? One thing I loved about the NRL awards night was they had people that created content on the side of NRL come and present, you know, like we're there to present not only awards but interview people. Yeah. Like that guy from Bloke in the Bar.
Oh, yeah,
you know, Denon?
yeah.
He was there interviewing.
Yeah.
Johnny Tuivasa-Sheck was over there. He was interviewing people. Other dudes that created content, you know, off the side were there as well. So the NRL understood that they need these other
influencers and
I guess you know, like these other channels or you know these other guys that talk about the game, because it lifts the game itself. You know, it's fan-made content.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is. Like that guy Denon from Bloke in a Bar, he does some cool stuff, man. How's his podcast?
Him and those Hello Sport dudes, bro, they can talk about league for days. Eh?
So it's only a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Whereas I think something like with rugby and the All Blacks, what they're wanting to do is they want to monetize everything. Because what the All Blacks are, obviously a massive business, right? And they've got shareholders, they've got sponsors. So now they are realizing, well, if we can't make the content, no one else can because the All Blacks can't clip the ticket. You know, so if you and I made an All Black show, like a program about the All Blacks, like a podcast about the All Blacks, they can't clip the ticket on what all our views and all that sort of stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they want to try and shut us down and do it themselves, so then they can get sponsors to come on board, because then they can say, we've got this many views, so then they can go to their sponsor and say, this is how many views we're getting, this is how many, and then they create, that's how marketing works. It's all about the dollars, bro, you know?
It's that's where it goes back to, like, it's actually a gentleman's sport, like.
Yeah, like, and it's a business, bro, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but content, bro, is the one, man. Like that's what, like you and I would like to be able to create content. Like let's go talk about your business in terms of tattooing, right? Like, I mean, I'd love to, like I've started creating content for you. I think content's important, particularly something like tattooing, you know, like it's all about artwork and more importantly, I reckon there's like stories behind tattoos. Like for example, my one or anybody that comes in usually has a story behind their tattoo. Is that what you reckon?
Yeah. No, definitely. And it's such a mean thing because it's opening up now. Like tattooing's opening up to everyone being into it rather than everyone looking at it as like a bad boy kind of thing or you were in jail or something.
Yeah.
And especially like, you know, one thing that I reckon blows everything up, bro, is like when like girls start doing it, like when girls make...
When they're tattoo artists, you mean?
Well,
or get tattoos.
Like, get tattoos or tattoo artists, bro. Because like the cool thing about girls is they always do it in like groups, you know, like if a girl was to come get tattooed, she's like, oh, 3 of my friends want to get tattoos as well. And that's what creates like expansion, you know, and it's made tattooing more
mainstream,
like, lack of a better word, but like not as harsh.
Yeah.
You know,
like when you think about tattooing, you think about what? Drug lords, gangsters.
Well, exactly. You know, Mexicans,
bad people. You know, like not bad people, but you know, like that's what your initial thought is.
Yeah, but even like yours, like the tattoos that I do can still be a bit like much because it's like, you know, it's the massive pictures. It's a whole arm sleeve, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas then you have girls that just get like a little as cute tattoo.
There's a lot of tattoos now called people call them the ugly tattoos, eh?
Yeah.
They just
like even that being a thing, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and that being cool, not being like a shitty home job.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But going back on what you were saying with like content, I think that's what I was leading to, like with expansion, is everyone wants a tattoo now. So everyone wants to see the process. like behind it. And
the thing about tattooing as well, it's like you say, it's across so many genres now. You know, like even tattoo is like with sports athletes.
Yeah.
You know, like it's in pop culture. You look at musicians now, covered in tattoos. There's so many different, like I say, genres of people that are into tattoos now.
Yeah.
You know, like obviously you got your culture tattoos, but also you've got your cool, you know, big art pieces, or you've got different parts. So I think there's so much content can be made, and also there's cross content as well. So tattoos can go into sports, you know, into pop culture, into the whole sneaker thing as well, because that all flows into it. You know, like a lot of sneaker collectors these days are just again covered in tattoos, because I think you say, it's more artwork on you. You know, it's all about that now. So. Yeah, what we'd love to be able to do is create some mean content. What we'd love to be able to do, is like we talked about it, is go and travel.
Yeah, bro.
And tattoo dudes. Like we both check out a dude by the name of, is it Gunga? Is it how you say?
Yeah, Ganga.
Is it how you, yeah. And he tattoos dudes like LeBron James and a lot of the NBA player guys, all the top, you know, OBJ, goes to these houses. That would be mean, right?
Like goes to their houses, which are like mansions, and then gets like mean ass content from it. And
bro,
the coolest thing is, like we were saying before, you want to see what they're up to, and it's like tattooists now have almost become like a famous person,
like a celebrity in a kind of way. Yeah.
Like even me, like. You know, when I go out,
you're a celebrity now.
Wait. A-list.
Well, you already take a Vivid out with you in case someone.
Oh, you said it, not me.
You're the kumara now, eh?
I'm a sweet potato now. No, but like.
I've already got a pen here. What do you want to sign? Your t-shirt. Oh, yeah, sweet ass.
But even people realizing who did it. Like,
that's
looking at that, like, oh, bro, I saw that on Kirby's like story, you know.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's you that's got it, you know.
Yeah.
Like we've become that kind of like person.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's even cooler now is a cool ass tattooist tattooing LeBron. It's like that, like it's like seeing LeBron and Michael Jordan. Like talking, you know, in the same room, and you want to be in their room. So it's like cool to see.
Yeah, we create content around like that, so like people can see what
cool content like that.
Yeah. So that's definitely the plan. So we want to try and get some cool people on board, or just actually some cool backstories as well. I reckon. Like there's always a story to people's tattoos, and it'd be interesting to hear these stories, you know, and how we can tell those stories. I reckon it'd be cool to share. And also, if you're getting a tattoo as well, you want to know who's tattooing you. I remember when I was searching for a tattoo artist, and I found some places, but I didn't know who the person was. I'd go onto their Instagram page, and all it was just photos of the work they've done, which is mean. But you also want to know the personality, if you're going to vibe with that dude or that lady, what they're about, you know, what their backstory is, who they are. You know, so when you go in and meet them, you kind of got a connection already with them, because you kind of feel like you already know them, when you go in and catch up with them. So I think that's what I'd like to be able to do is, if we can create some sort of content around that, that'd be cool, eh?
Creating a personality around content, like more than just like content, you know?
Yeah, and as well as people want to sort of watch things that are either are like escapism, you know, sort of just to sort of, they want to escape from their 9-to-5 job or their day-to-day, you know, like life. They want to see what else is happening in the world. And if they come across, you know, we went and tattooed, or you tattooed and I created the content for it, someone that's, you know, different or out there, or went to some, you know, mad house or traveled the world or whatever it be, what that would be cool to watch. I reckon, you know, I'd like to watch that.
Well, that's what we're into, so it's cool for us to
and it's easy
be able to provide that for others.
So... so that's a bunch of stuff we talked about. Our first potty.
Yeah, no, that's mean, bro.
Hit that subscribe button if this is what you're into. We're going to talk about a whole lot of different things, like you say, pop culture and sports, things that were going on, that are happening in the world at the moment, even things that like about business as well. You know, what you see happening in business and how I can see it as well. Content creating,
and stocks and. Not those trying to talk about crypto, you know, NFTs. Well, actually, you know, we talk about all of that, bro.
We're all about that.
Not those guys.
Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, if you guys are into this, hit the subscribe button below. Join our journey. Just it's all about like having a bit of fun with it. If you've got any other topics you want to talk about, hit that in the comments section as well. And yeah, thanks for joining us. It's us, first one.
Appreciate you, bro. Oh, man.
All right, that's us signing off. Let's go.
Sicker than your average. Pop a twist cabbage off instinct. Niggas don't think shit stink. Pink Gators. My Detroit players. Tim's for my hooligans in Brooklyn.